Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Mistonia's Hope, continuing Lucas's route. So, he knows our identity, might have been sus of it all along, to be fair, but anyway. Several nights later, I was resting in my room after finishing up my work for the day. Now, what to do next? I lost access to the room with the bloodstains. Lucas kept it locked shut. I thought that there still might have been some kind of way, and I tried to sneak in, but... Hey, I told you to stay away. I was only cleaning the corridor. Uh-huh. Give up already. These guys make a fuss when you approach, so I know. Oh, well, those guys are. They seem to think it's amusing now. Amusing? Point is, don't come near here. Am I clear? Even after that attempt, though I didn't know how, Lucas realized whenever I approached that section of the estate and drove me away. I didn't know how. He specifically just told you. Girl, context clues. Those guys make a fuss whenever you get near. That would have been like the, what guys? Or, except for the fact that he's kind of already made it clear that, like, lingering spirits and things like that. So you would have been like, are you talking about your brothers? Are they haunting this room? Like, you think you would have asked questions, but... And if I ask him about the past directly, he evades me. I've got no choice but to look for another source. As soon as I was locked out of the storage room, I'd sent a letter to John. In it, I asked John to look into House Sullivan's country house in their domain, Ars Gow. I hoped he'd find tidbits about Lucas's relationship with my brother, as well as House Sullivan's involvement at Elpbeak. I've sorted through the information I have so far, and it seems like Lucas doesn't have a strong connection with his paternal family. He was brought into the family as a bastard, treated as a hassle, then sent off to school. Considering that distance, there wasn't much reason to connect him to the incident. Well, John was right. Maybe I'm just praying that scenario is true. Yeah, because you got a crush on him. Although, to be fair, I like the way they handled it in Alfred's route, where he's like, I was responsible. And she's like, I'll fucking kill you. And he's like, all right, my life is yours. You could kill me after, but we got to kill the queen first. And then they fall in love, and she's like, damn it, but your life is mine. So, same difference. I don't have to kill you. And like, I'm kind of hesitant right now. I'm just kind of sitting over here with this one, with her being like, I hope he's not involved, because like, I just don't want it to be true. And it's like, she seems not the strong, independent, sassy main character that we're used to. She seems normal. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so every other game we play, okay, she's not really this bad, but like every other game we play, the main character is always just very naive and everyone is going to be wholesome. I know that they stab people, but maybe I could get through to them. And you're like, no, girl, don't be stupid. Okay? They're a little derpy, a little naive, and a little stupid. Okay? They're a little too trusting. They're just little cupcakes. Okay? All right? In general. And like sometimes that's an obnoxious bad thing, and you're like, God, why is she dumber than a box of rocks? And other times you're like, I mean, I like that she tries to look on the bright side of things, but like, girl, this guy's trash. But like, good for you that you just like, okay with it. And like, sometimes we like the trash, so we let it go. You know what I mean? But you can't deny the inevitable fact that these women are generally like, I believe in everyone. Sometimes you just, no, you just can't, okay? Sometimes you just gotta take your bitters, okay? So this kind of, she's on the verge of being like a standard main character where they'd be like, I know I'm out for revenge, but he just seems so nice, and I just don't want to believe he could kill my family. And then when it's like, yeah, no, he did, you're just gonna be like, oh, so devastated about it, And like, that's just like 90% of Otome games. That's what you expect. Meanwhile, what they gave us in the beginning was this woman who was like, I will stab the fuck out of these motherfuckers. And you knew she was going to like cave and fall in love with them. Sure. But she still, Alfred, yeah, I'm responsible. I'll fucking kill you, bitch. First we have to kill the queen. Alright, bet. But then I'm gonna kill you. You got it. And then she's like, you know what? I'm not gonna kill you, but your life's still mine, motherfucker. You know what I mean? And like, she was still like, it was like, damn it, I want to kill him, but I also want to kiss him. And like, you know what? If he pisses me off, I might still kill him. You know? And you like, you gotta like that spite and the anger in her, and the fact that like, you know, even if she was like, I kind of love him, but like, I'm still gonna stab him. When we're done, I'm gonna kill this fucker. Like, she was just hardcore gonna kill him the whole time. But like with Lucas, it's instantly like, I just don't want to believe that he could hurt my family. I mean, we're only at the beginning. Okay, well, we're like halfway through because there are only like 4 chapters. So, you know, but I'm like, I'm not feeling you in this route, girl. Like, I like the plot line they've got with Lucas. You know what I mean? And like his ties to her family and all that stuff like that. But I'm not sure if I like that she's already wishy-washy about his involvement. You know, I feel like it's, you know, like you're sitting there on the floor, you're like, okay, all right, I'm like, we're gonna play this game. And then Alfred's rat happens and you're like, you just want to jump. It makes you leap up. You're like, damn, girl, yeah. Right? And then this one, you're like, I'm ready to, oh, she's just gonna not, she doesn't want to believe that because she kind of likes him. All right. Oh, okay. Well, I'll just stay here. I mean, there's something wrong with it, but it's just slightly disappointing and almost a letdown after the way Alfred's unfolded, you know? And I don't hate it. I'm not like, I hate this. I'm just like, yeah, I think my expectations were higher. And right now, maybe it'll change. Maybe it'll change. Listen, I say these things, and then 2 lines later, the game bitch slaps me in the face and is like, fuck up. Shut your mouth. This is what we're doing. And then it just gives me what for. But right now, I feel sort of let down that she's just become kind of like the standard, like, main character who just wants to see the best in everyone. And it's like, while not also being that character, but you know what I mean? She's closer to that character than she was her original self. You know, with the, I don't want to, maybe I don't want to believe that he killed my family. Instead of being like, I don't know how he's connected to my brother, but I'm going to stab him. She's like, I don't want him to have done anything wrong. And it doesn't feel like her. And I'm just like, did the person who wrote this route forget the prompt of what her personality is? Or did they write this and then did they just forget to like tell that person what her personality? And they were like, no, I got this. I've written a bazillion routes for Otome games. And they wrote this one. And then they were like, oh, this isn't her personality though. Well, no one will notice. You know what I mean? I just feel like we've become a different person here. And I'm waiting for the route to be like, bet bitch and give me what's for and have her swing back into her stabby self. Because right now it saddens me a little. I still like it, don't get me wrong. But if I take it for the game as a whole, I'm disappointed that she seems not herself. And it makes me wonder, like, did they set us up with Alfred's route? Like, damn! And then they're just going to, like, fall short the rest of the game? Or is it just a lull in this moment and then we're going to turn a corner and the game's going to be like, I bamboozled you for a minute. You thought she wasn't going to get stabby, but she going to get stabby, you know? You know? They're going to turn it out and I'm going to be like, I'm sorry, I questioned you for a minute there, game. Oh, you got me. Which is what I'm really hoping for, because otherwise I'll still enjoy it, but I'll be like, but I'm slightly disappointed that she didn't keep her sassy, stabby self and, you know? We'll see, but I'm also just maybe I'm just salty and bitter and grouchy right now, but I don't know. We left on such a high with Alfred, and now we're just like, really? You're gonna... as soon as he told you, you were gonna stab that fucker, and now Lucas knew your... Well, you don't know how he's involved, so I understand the not threatening part. But it's also still a little weird with the like, okay. I mean, I guess that's part of the charm of this route is he's like, I'm not going to tell the Queen Jesus. And she's like, why not though? And did you kill my brother? Are you responsible for killing my family? I'm not going to stab you until I know for sure. So at least she's that way. But it's the I want to believe in him kind of. We're on that board. She hasn't quite said that. But this is kind of like, maybe I'm just praying that it's like, but you kind of are. I don't know. I guess I'm an and I shrug about it like, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I don't really know how I feel. We'll see how it pans out, but I'm really hoping she finds out and she gets stabby and is like, I'm gonna kill you, and then he's like, similar to Alfred, sorta. There's a reason that she puts it off, but she's like, but maybe it's the kind of having a little bit of feelings for him beforehand that'll stop her from stabbing him instead of, I mean, I think she was like, Alfred's kind of cool. She kind of liked him as a person. I don't think she was in love with him, but this feels a little more like maybe she got a crush, you know? Granted, it's been a while since I played Alfred's route, so I don't really remember if she felt crushy or if it was like, Alfred's really kind of nice. But if he killed my family, I'm still going to fuck his shit up, you know? Anyway, there was a knock on my door, interrupting my train of thought. It's me. Do you have a moment? This was the first time Lucas had visited my room since I'd come to this estate. I thought I was startled. Although I was startled, I hurriedly responded. Wow. Yes, coming. Puts her hair up, puts her glasses on. When I opened the door, Lucas was standing there as surly as always. Strangely enough, he held a wicker basket in one hand. I'm going to the cemetery tonight. If you want to come, follow me. Huh? Is that all right? If you're going to tell me anyway, might as well go together. Not to mention how absurd it is for a woman to walk the Roman streets alone at night. I like that. If you're gonna follow me anyway, you're like, I wasn't going to, but I feel like this is twofold. He's like, hey, I'm going to the cemetery. You want to come along? She's like, you want me to come? And he's like, I mean, you're just gonna follow me anyway, right? She's like, no. And he's like, I actually just thought we could go and have a picnic, maybe. But whatever. It's kind of adorkably adorable. That's part of adorkable, but whatever. That was all he said before he marched off without looking back. Was he worried about me? A mysterious ache struck my chest again. Yeah, she'd definitely fallen in love with him. So, I mean, I get it. I mean, part of me likes that. Like, okay, it's a little bit different. Like, she's kind of already falling for him. But how is that going to change when she finds out he was involved in killing her family? Like, you know what I mean? And maybe that's going to be the twist. It's going to be like when she finds it, and then it's going to be so hard, but she's going to, I want to kill him, but I love him, but I don't know what to do. And it's going to be like a angsty kind of thing. You know what I mean? So with Alfred, she was kind of trusting him and liked him, but it was still like, I will fucking kill you. Like, and it was like, okay, she gonna kill him. We knew she wasn't. But, this feels like they're going to make it a little more angsty, like it'll hurt. Even though we know, Yes, I shall go with you. I'll get ready at once, so please wait for me. I swiftly dressed and ran after Lucas. After visiting the cemetery and watching Lucas send the spirits away, we wound up in a park instead of going straight home. That's why he's got a wicker basket. It's a fucking picnic. Lucas led us there, saying he wanted to talk. He plopped down on a bench and gestured for me to sit beside him. What does he want to discuss? Is it about my identity? Or could it be about the Elpeak disaster? He went to the trouble of asking me here, so it must have been significant. I braced myself. What did you wish to talk? Before I could finish, my stomach rumbled. Awkward! Good thing he packed sandwiches. Tell me I'm dreaming. At a time like this! Oh, I really hope Lucas didn't hear. Please. I prayed that earnestly. However... Huh. You're hungry? He heard it. That is such a disgrace. Overwhelmed with shame, heat gathered in my cheeks. As I hung my head, I saw Lucas take a cloth package from his basket. If you're hungry, want a bite of this? He unwrapped the parcel, revealing a paper box. From that paper box, he took out a somewhat shabbily constructed sandwich. But, okay, also, I didn't even think about this. He made the sandwiches himself. He got in the kitchen and slapped together a sandwich. He got in. It wasn't, woman, go make me a sandwich because we don't trust me to make sandwiches. It was, I'm going to go make a damn sandwich for you. That's actually kind of adorable. So, all right, props for him. Rich bastard man who has never set foot in a kitchen is attempting to make sandwiches. Kind of forgot about the fact that he would not even know what a kitchen is. I wondered about the basket. He brought food? This whole time he planned to eat? With sandwiches he made. We gave him hideous fucking scones, and he's going to give us a shabbily thrown together sandwich, but I bet it's going to be delicious. Don't nitpick the looks. I made it myself. What? You made this sandwich, Lord Lucas? Without thinking, I looked between Lucas and the sandwich in awe. Lucas frowned and huffed as he shoved the food into my hands. I only thought about it after the chef left. I couldn't ask you because, well, you'd already finished for the day, so I refrained. Which meant I was the only one available. I couldn't ask you because you'd already finished for the day is a great cover for you might fucking poison me by accident. That was a rather suspicious explanation. Still, I never thought I'd see the day a noble made a sandwich with his own two hands. Right? That, right there. There was a period in the past where I learned to cook. I was pretty unstable then. But also well, I don't know how, well, you were very young when they took you from your mom, but, she might have taught you. Truly? There was a time when you were even more unstable than you are now? Ouch. You're outright rude sometimes, Don't waste your breath and eat. You're hungry, aren't you? Lucas picked up his sandwich, tore a piece off, and took a bite for show. There, see? It's not poisoned. There wouldn't be any benefit for me to attack you now. Contrary to his intent, his words unnerved me. Such suspicions hadn't even crossed my mind. When I was a newcomer at the Bernsteins, I was much more cautious. But now Lord Lucas, I would never suspect you of putting in poison. Oblivious to my inner turmoil over my transformation, Lucas looked at me and spoke offhandedly. Really? In your position, you want to suspect it constantly. I used to doubt food all the time. That's why I learned to make simple stuff. Was he referring to his disputes with his half-brothers? I yearned to know what exactly happened to cause his distrust of others. I mean, that's kind of fucked up to think about, that he's just like, my brothers were trying to kill me, so I learned to make my own food because they might have killed me. And then they killed each other. Maybe because they poisoned each other. And shit! But then I sensed my stomach was about to grumble again. Unable to define my hunger, I picked up my sandwich. Of course, that's the thing. You don't know. You put the one on top, that's mine, and the one on the bottom is yours, and the one on top has the rat poison in it. Like, what the fuck? Just because you ate a bite of a different sandwich doesn't mean this one's not poisoned. Still gonna eat it. Do we get a CG of this? Oh my god, we do. We get a CG of us sitting there eating sandwiches. Look at this. This is so fucking cute. Like, aww. She's so adorable in this. She takes the cake from you, Lucas, I'm not gonna lie. He looks like a pale ghost. It's like they forgot to color the man in. Like, he is so pale, this poor thing. But, like, it's actually kind of funny. You're just like, damn, sir, you really do need to get out in the sun. But then you see her, and it's just like, she's so adorable trying to take her little bite of her sandwich. Oh, it's delicious. Right. I am a good cook, I feel a bit frustrated hearing that. I had to begrudgingly admit his cooking was top tier. Crispy lettuce, sliced ham, melted cheese. The combination was exquisite. Because I was famished, I wolfed it down. You think this is good, but you still season things the way you do. Getting extremely curious about how your sense of taste works. Is there something odd about my sense of taste? I've been wondering for ages. Everyone at the Bernstein estate was vague about it. Who knows? Got no idea what goes on in that house. Even if I wanted to ask, I only go for the conferences. Can't help you there. That's not what I was asking about. And, hey, you just evaded my question by changing the focus, didn't you? I subconsciously pouted and whined. When I was with Lucas, for some reason, I kept acting like a child. I'd felt this way before with... Yeah, he reminds me of Riley. Okay, so we're not gonna get the I bang my brother route. We're gonna get the I bang the guy who reminds me of my brother route, or a brother. Because, like, he's your brother's friend. Okay, sure. And technically, like, in ye olde times, which this is kind of sort of, you would be marrying someone far older than you, which is the creep factor out of that, because, like, whatever. It was ye olde times, sure. But it is just weird when she's like, he was like he reminds me of a brother. Technically, I mean, I guess I'm aware of my own hypocrisy here. But, like, technically, that should make you go, no, wow, ew, no. Don't say that. That makes it creepy. Me, it absolutely has no effect on it, but I do realize that I'm like, huh, that should make it really creepy and weird that you're like, he reminds me of my brother. Damn, I want to make out with him. Those thoughts should not be in your head at the same time. Granted, she hasn't technically thought the second one out loud yet, but it's there inside. But when you realize in the Venn diagram of he reminds me of my brother and I want to kiss him that there's an overlap, should be weird. Again, not for degenerates like me, but I don't know. Shouldn't it be weird? Maybe it's just because I'm in the firm of like, okay, even if he was your actual brother, I wouldn't mind it at all. I'm okay with that. But, and so I'm not a proper judge of the character of that, but I feel like most people would think that's weird. Or it should be. You know what I mean? It's like being colorblind and trying to understand the way colors are supposed to be. Where you're like, this is the right? You know what I mean? Like, I don't, but just, I don't know. I feel like it should be weird for most people. Well, anyway. They're nothing alike in personality or speech, but he gives off a warm, reassuring feeling. I can tell he's watching over me. Okay, well, that's a little bit different because it's like he reminds me of my brother. They're not the same, but it's the same feeling I'm getting. And to be fair, that warm, comforting, reassuring, protective feeling, yeah, I could see you feeling that with a family member, but also with your love interest, your partner. You know what I mean? Because it's coming from two different places, but warmth can come from a multitude of places, from a multitude of different types of people in your life. And that isn't inherently weird. I'm in love with this person who gives me warmth. My family member over here also, I feel the same warmth. It's, you know what I mean? Like, that's not weird. The reassuring feeling, the feeling protected, and then that's I want to make him my family. Okay, so it's not weird when she explains it, but it is at first when she's like, he reminds me of my brother. I should have let her clarify. Perhaps I felt this way because when Lucas looked at me, his gaze was very, very kind. Now I have no idea what you're talking about. Palates differ from person to person. If you like more, it's a boon. You can eat anything. What's with that? You make me sound like a glutton. He was generally pessimistic, but this way of thinking was unexpectedly positive. I giggled. A moment after I had that thought, his hand reached to my cheek. I started. You have food on your cheek. Silly girl. Gently brushing my cheek with his fingertips, Lucas's eyes softened. You're cuter when you smile. You should do that all the time. Huh? Did he just call me cute to my face? I blushed, my cheeks on fire. I hadn't known that he could make such statements easily. I stilled. I couldn't look him in the eyes. No, I didn't mean anything by it. The implications of his words finally sunk in. His cheeks flushed red to match mine. How adorable! We're having the most adorable fucking flirting. Okay, I like their adorable flirting. When I chatted with my brother, I never burst with nervousness like I did now. Oh, well, okay. That's because you shouldn't want to bang your brother. Shouldn't. Most normal people. I felt comfortable with him, but also awkward. I want to stay with him, but also want to run away. I'm a contradictory mess, but I don't dislike it. Why is my heart beating so fast? No, calm down. I need to extract information from him. I can't let him throw me off like this. Okay, so this could go in an interesting, obviously it is going in an interesting way of, she's definitely falling for him She's gonna feel like she's in love with it and then find out he was responsible, and then it's gonna be like this whole fucking thing. And it's that angst, I guess, could be the okay. That makes it, again, it's different than the way it worked out with Alfred, but that'll work as opposed to just her want, like, then just, no, I'm sure you had a good reason. No, I want her to get angry. I want her to get angry and want to stab him, but then also want to not stab him because she's in love with him, but then it's like, and it's like a battle, you know? And it's just, we're just swapping the order of, I'm gonna fucking kill you, your life is mine, but not necessarily the same. But I mean, I guess you can't really work it out the same because it really just depends, because at least with Alfred, there was a, okay, cool, I'll let you kill me because fine. But can we kill the queen first? And then you can stab me? Cool. You know, and I don't think Lucas has that kind of bargaining chip, really. So we gotta have our, I swore I'd kill this person for murdering my family, but I'm in love with them angst moment, and you can't really do that in the reverse order like with Alfred, where we find out he killed our family, and then you slowly realize you're in love with him, so. Wait, did I read that? Yeah, no, okay. Swallowing a bite of the sandwich, I straightened my back to focus. You mentioned you wanted to talk about something. Right. I braced myself for a grave topic, but he said something I hadn't predicted. It's about that, face-eyed hand of yours. It's rare, so I wanted to ask you about it. You wanted to know about my hand? Fear convinced me he'd interrogate me about my identity or Elpig. Though caught off guard, I replied with a question of my own. That reminds me, I've been mystified too. How did you recognize my hand right away? When I lived in Rowan as a young child, I never heard of anyone in my bloodline showing this power to any of the other 5 houses. My family, John and Oberon, told me all of my life that those who knew could recognize it at once, so I had to hide it. Even so, it was eerie to have been seen through with one look. Oh, that's because I was researching ways to become a pure fae a while back. I read about the face-eyed hand in an old book. Huh? Oh, that's true. I forgot about that plotline because they haven't brought it up until now. They brought it up in Alfred's route that his own he's researching how to become a pure fae. I totally forgot about that. That was like I want to say a major point to Lucas throughout the common route, kind of, and Alfred's, like, they, in passing, obviously, because he's, like, not a main character there. Well, you know what I mean. But, like, they did mention that before, and it was like, oh, okay. And then they completely, like, I completely forgot about it, because, again, it's been forever since I did the common route in Alfred and then started back here, and I would have forgotten anyway. And then they just forgot about it halfway through his route. Like, I mean, I guess it really wasn't pertinent, but at the same time, it's one of those things that they bring up, and then they're like, don't worry about it. Also, one of you guys pointed out, okay, and I just remembered this now, because I just saw the comment over the weekend, and this is the first part I'm recording between the weekend and now, but that, and I don't remember when you left it, because sometimes my comments were out of order and whatever, but, and I think it was on an older part, obviously, but, you know, timing and whatever. Anyway, that Lily could be a changeling. That's an option, too. Because, like, Lily is sus as fuck, but I keep forgetting changelings are a thing and problem. And they mention them. That's so, put that over in the Lily is sus as fuck. That's also there on the posted board. Okay. Lily's sus as fuck somehow. I don't know what her fucking deal is, but changeling is a possibility, too. Yeah, you know? Interesting. Could she be a changeling with the queen, though? With the queen, well, you know what I mean? It's like, when she talks sometimes, and the way she acts, you're like, it's why she gets along with the queen. But it's almost like she's half the queen and half herself. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why the queen's a little batshit. Is like part of the queen, like inside of Lily, so she's got a literal split personality because half her personality's in a different body. I mean, that's not exactly how split personalities work, but in this world, that's what we're going with here. Okay, like, you know what I mean? Because Lily's almost got every once in a while, like, sort of like the underlying deviousness. You're like, doesn't she give you like the queen vibe sometimes? You know, and like. Or she's just hanging around the queen too much. I don't know. You know what I mean? So, whatever. Anyway, not the point. We'll get there when we get to Edward. So, that power only manifests very rarely in Randolphs, who are closest to pure Fey, right? I wouldn't have been able to comprehend that sentence before this undertaking, but now... Sorry, I didn't hear you clearly. Could you please say that again? It's a power that's close to pure Fey, right? No, I'm talking about the statement before that. What did you want to become again? Oh, I was researching ways to become a pure Fey a while back. Is that the one? I thought it was a joke. Is there really a person with such unusual tastes in the world? Says the woman who eats pepper in her fucking scones. You don't have to say it in such a roundabout way. Well, sorry for being a nutcase. Grumping that, Lucas Lucas clammed up, leaned back, and glared up at the night sky. I didn't know what Lucas was trying to get at, so I matched his silence. There was a pause, enough to contemplate, before he spoke again. I'm sick and tired of people, where their humane demi-fey mingle. We all hate, blame, and hurt each other. Truth. Pure Fey are the only flawless existences in the world. Probably not. If I could become one and go to Tirnanog, don't you think I'd be freed from all the nonsensical shackles dragging us down? No, because there's probably the same bullshit going on over there. I've never thought in such a way before. The Pure Fey are beings like the Queen and Oberon. Surely they possess otherworldly power, but I'd never ever want to become like them. Pure Fey were innocent as they were cruel, and capable of fathoming good and evil. That was how they committed brutal, atrocious deeds, like what the Queen had done to my family. Yeah, so see, I would bring this up. I'd be like, well, Pure Fey are cruel and evil, like the Queen had my family murdered. I don't think that that's something that you want to be. Because if you don't like the violence and the evil in the world in general, being the violent and evilest of the beings is probably not the best choice. I mean, you're like, I want to be the most powerful, but that is also the most violently evil. You know? But it's also just because they have no moral compass at all. I'm afraid I don't understand. I don't like Pure Fey. After the words came out of my mouth, I feared they could be taken as a criticism of the Queen. I looked to Lucas. Ignore me. Sorry, I spoke out of line. These aren't things I should be saying to you. Like, I don't think he gives a fuck about the Queen. He's not really a loyalist. He's just forced to do this job. Like, Alfred seems like, yes, I'm loyal to the Queen. I'm going to kill that bitch. Lucas is like, I'm here because I have to be. He's like Wednesday. In, like, the days of the week. He's like, I'm just in the middle of the month. I'm just here because I fucking got dragged along. Tuesday and Thursday kind of bookended me and I'm stuck. You know? Alfred is Monday. He's like, I am here to do my job, but I am going to fuck the shit up of the person who made me responsible, because fuck that shit. I don't want to be responsible for this crap. You know? Ascot would be Friday. Absolutely. Because he's like, party time, bitches! Because, like, who the fuck does anything on Friday? Like, you go to work and you're like, yeah, I'm totally going to be not doing a damn thing and just pretending I'm typing over here. You know what I mean? You're going to pretend that you're a hacker in a 90s movie, like just busting away at my keyboard, absolutely making no sense whatsoever, clickety-clacking, but like going for your 14th coffee break, even though you haven't finished your cup of coffee, you're just pretending, you know, so that you don't actually have to be at your desk. That's Friday. That's Ascot energy. I guess... Would Linus be Tuesday then? Because he's like, I was told I'm at the work week. Because he's actually ambitious. Because, like, Alfred is the one, like, Monday is like, yep, the start of the week. But actually hates everything because that's the way Mondays are. If you think about a Monday. You're like, yep, it's the start of the work week. We're going to be productive, but I just want to cry in the corner. I'm going to force myself to do work because I got to start the week off strong, but I hate it here because nobody likes Mondays, right? You wish it were still the weekend, and Alfred is kind of like that, like, yeah, I'm going to pretend I'm a royalist, but I really want to stab the queen. You know? I'm going to pretend I'm ambitious for the work week, but I'm really wishing it was Sunday again. You know, that kind of thing. And then Tuesday is like, well, we're here, we're in the middle of the week, whatever. Monday's gone, we've got a whole week ahead of us, we can do this! And that's Linus energy, I guess. Because he's like, well, as far as we know, he's actually a royalist. He's like, my job is to queen shit, whatever. She told me to do things, I'll do things. All right. And I guess Edward's Thursday because he's just like, I'm here. I'm still in the week, I guess. But like, I got him doing stuff, maybe. I don't know. Okay, got the 3 of them, Pat. Got the... I don't know about Tuesday and Thursday. I don't know why that's a thing. I'm not drunk, I swear. Oh, dear God. But, but he's very much like... I don't think he gives a fuck about the queen or anything. If everyone in the 5 houses were like, we're all going to kill the queen, he'd be like, whatever. I don't want to be here. And they're like, we are going to worship the queen. He's like, whatever. I don't want to be here. He just doesn't want to be here. Okay? He is literally just forced to be in the work week. Okay? So, Casting down his eyes, Lucas whispered, why are you apologizing? He didn't mean anything by it. I only felt remorseful that I brought up a subject impossible for you to follow. Whomever I tell about this wish, they make fun of me without exception. We revere pure fae, but wishing to become one is impudent, they say. You madman, they say. As he spoke, Lucas's features contorted with grief. The reactions of those around him were unpleasant memories, better kept locked away. Lord Lucas, why do you wish to become a pure fae? What are those shackles you think drag us down? Well, there are a few reasons. One is that pure fae are beings that transcend mortals. If I were a pure fae, no matter what happened in my life, my heart wouldn't be hurt. But that would mean that you'd lack all the emotions that make you who you are now. Yeah, but what's so bad about that? Wouldn't things be much simpler without a heart? This is literally... I mean, if you look at his sad past, it makes sense. But this is literally a man who just had his heart broken by a girl. Like, sweetie, you dated for like a week. It's gonna be okay. You're only 16. You'll get over it. I mean, I know he's 29, but seriously, he's acting like a 16-year-old emo boy right now. Like, just in this moment. And they're like, my heart won't hurt anymore. And it's like, you'll get over it. Don't worry about it. It hurts now, but you'll get past it. It'll be okay. Like... But we've all been in this place. We've all been him. Where we're like, next time I have my heart broken, I'm gonna... Okay, so that's every day so far in 2026. Jesus Christ. I wish I was a pure face so I didn't have to feel things. I think we all feel like that right about now. But, when you have your heart broken and you're like, just wish I was a pure face. I'm never gonna have to go through that again, so it'll be fine. But, like, we've all been in his place, so I get it, but... It's still just like, sweetie. And of course he's haunted by his dead brothers, so it makes sense. And probably the fact that he murdered an entire village and one of those people being his friend, so. If I could be a pure fae and live in Tirnanog, I wouldn't have to suffer anymore. Sorrow melted into his tone. Even though it had nothing to do with me, my chest tightened. This will also probably come into play when she finds out he was responsible. Or partially so. Because then she's going to be like, oh, you think you feel sorrow? You think you have the right? Like, and it's going to make her angry. You know what I mean? I feel like this will be like a thing like, oh, fuck you and your feelings. What about my feelings? You murdered an entire village, including my family. You're supposed to be my brother's friend and you killed him? And it's going to be this like angry. And then all of a sudden maybe it'll sink in like, yeah, but like he was forced to do it. And like, can we really blame him for that? Like, yes and no. You know what I mean? Like, yes, because you could have said no, but at the same time, your whole family would have been and then like sometimes you're put in a tough position and you do something horrible and it's like, and those of us who are not in that position can't say, no, you should never have done it because you don't know what it's like to be threatened and have that kind of fear, So, I don't know. And be manipulated the way he was kind of sort of and forced to be in this family he didn't want to be in. So, I mean, I couldn't possibly ever wish to become a pure fae. At the very least, not until I killed the queen. Still, you're right. I can't say about the rest, but Life would be much simpler without a construct like the heart. I imagine being spared from my grief, from the piercing pain that threatened to split me apart, from my fiery hatred. I wonder if that's going to be one of the endings. I mean, you know that one of the endings is she's going to, like, do something to kill him or torture him, to make him suffer the way she did to Alfred. But, like, could an alternate ending be they both go on their pure fae and they now have no emotions? But yet, if pure fae don't really have hearts and everything, what about the Queen and Oberon? The Queen's batshit insane, so we can't really think about her, but Oberon, like, really wants to protect her still. So, like, why? If you don't have an emotion like love. It's weird. And if I could be spared from hating you, who's right beside me, then this was the moment I realized exactly what I truly thought. I didn't want to hate this man. I fervently wished for his innocence, and that's going to be the crux. Okay. I wouldn't think the whole becoming pure fae was the, like, good ending. That'd be so weird. But interesting. I didn't want to hate Lucas, who was so like my brother, who sometimes stirred up emotions I'd never felt before. Finish that sandwich. It'll lighten our load for the trip back. I will. Before I forget about my Faesight, I was born with this power, so I can't tell you much. It doesn't hold a candle to the power of real pure fae. Well, that doesn't surprise me. But you can look into the past with that, right? Yes. It tires me, so I don't use it often, but... After that, I stuffed my cheeks full of the sandwich and looked up. We admired the night sky, our trifling chat going on, as if there were nothing else in the world. On the weekend, I returned to the Bernstein estate once again to report about my work. Likewise, Lucas came for the conference. Conferences on weekends? Blech. After reporting to Nicholas, I received a half a day off. I left the residence and made my way to Goneril's shop to meet John. John should return today from Arsgau. I hope he found something about House Sullivan while he was there. That person over there... I suddenly spotted someone familiar and I ground to a halt. It was Alfred. Oh, I miss you. He's not going to participate in the conference today? Where is he going? Moreover, seeing Alfred reminded me of his side to Lucas. The one thing you can't ever change is the fact that we're accomplices. I still haven't sleuthed out what that meant. I haven't gained much information about Cresswell at all. I want a little more on Alfred. Let's see where he goes. Okay, but you can't kill Alfred in this route. Like, don't hurt my precious. I chased after Alfred, keeping a safe distance. However... his long-ass fucking legs. In the middle of my pursuit, Alfred quickened his steps and made a sudden turn. I hastened to follow, but by the time I reached the corner, he was nowhere to be seen. He's meeting with the, Twilight Ravens. He's gone. Did he notice me? Maybe. Left behind in the back alley, I surveyed my surroundings before slouching in defeat. First Lucas, now Alfred. I'm not up to standard. I really can't look John in the eye next time I... The next moment, I sensed someone behind me. But it's blue. Wouldn't that be Edward saying? But somebody's saying, did you come to see the Blue Robin too? Oh. What was his name again? Was this Leonardo? Was that his name? But, like, he works with Alfred, so why is he here? Interesting. I whipped my head around. A lone boy stared at me curiously. Judging by his fragmentary wing out in the open, he was a mingle. Who are you? Yeah, but it was weird because the little stamp by the name, the ... was blue. So you'd think it would have been gray. Well, Alfred's color is gray, so I guess not. But I'm Leonardo, member of the Blue Robin. So Leonardo is part of the Twilight Ravens and the Blue Robins? And Blue Robin is more than one person? Does he help out Lucas? Leonardo does a lot of shit in this game, huh? Leonardo might be the MVP. Kid does a lot. He's pulling a lot of weight. A member of the Blue Robin? Hey, you just thought a brat like me must be lying, huh? No, not at all. I just thought it was rather surprising. I don't know if he's telling the truth, but I should play along and see what he knows. To tell you the truth, I want to join the Blue Robin. I've been researching it. I blended truth and lies in my statement. The boy, Leonardo, grinned at me cheerfully. I knew it! The members of the Blue Robin meet here from time to time. People who want to join come here after hearing the talk. Most strangers who come to this alley looking around like goofballs are Blue Robin hopefuls, which is why I came up to you two. So that's how it is. I'm asking just in case, but what does the Blue Robin do? As you know, we protect the sick, the poor, and the powerless. The Blue Robin's the ally of the vulnerable, after all, so basically Batman. But, like, except for... Okay. It's half Batman, because it's we donate money and toys and gifts and things like that. But then we're going to stab the queen, the actual vigilante, is the Twilight Ravens on the Alfred side. And Alfred is the Batman here, which is fun. I understand what he's advocating, but he's just a child. Plus, ally of the vulnerable sounds like it's taken out of a fairy tale. There were no specifics or practicality in Leonardo's statement. Was he really connected? I mean, it's interesting that he's here and talking about it. Is he trying to trick me? No, there's a chance this child has also been deceived. This is interesting, because I was, like, wondering, and I'm like... Well, apparently some of the aristocrats raised the idea that the Blue Robin could have a connection with anti-royalists. Those nobles claim they suspect that the Blue Robin's goal is to increase the pawns under the anti-royalist command. And... hold on a second. Well, okay. We know that Leonardo works for the Twilight Ravens, who are anti-royalists. But... so you've got rich people being out there, oh, we're going to spread rumors that the Blue Robin is increasing pawns for anti-royalists, oh, blah, 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 like spreading a conspiracy around when Lucas, most likely who's the Blue Robin, is just like, I'm donating money and gifts and things like that to help people, and I'm just doing that under the radar or whatever because I don't want attention for it. But I'm doing my part, and we should help these people, and this is bullshit. But is he an anti-royalist? I don't know. Maybe he's like, yeah, if people were going to kill the queen, sure, I'm for it, but also I'm not going to rock the boat. I'm just going to do some shit under the radar and keep my mouth shut type of a thing. You know what I mean? So, what would be the purpose of Leonardo pretending that Blue Robin is a group or anything? You know what I mean? And why? And because it seems like something like, oh, Alfred would put him up to trying and testing people and whatever, but it's like, but why? Because, I mean, Linus maybe setting someone up to try to find people who are trying to join Blue Robins, who are anti-royalists, because that's kind of his job. But Alfred is the one that we know is in league with Leonardo. So why would Alfred do that? Because unless he's like, no, go out and see, because they're spreading these rumors that Blue Robins are, like, the Blue Robin is increasing pawns for anti-royalists. So find out if people are interested, because maybe they'll join us. Maybe he's, like, taking advantage of it. He's like, if they're going to spread that rumor, I'm going to make it true. More power to me. I guess. I don't know. It's weird. So we'll see what happens here. Anti-royalist pawns. Alfred vanished here. Was he investigating the Blue Robin and their affiliates? Perhaps there was merit in following his movements. So you want to join the Blue Robin too? I mellowed my expression to lower the boy's guard and crouched down to meet his eyes. I do. I'd love to become one of you. What should I do? There's going to be an initiation here. The night of the new moon. Come then. Initiation? I'll definitely come. Thanks. I promised Leonardo, who was still grinning merrily, before vacating the area. So you're really planning on going to that initiation? Everything about this smells fishy. You know that, right? If such a thing really happened regularly, there's no way I wouldn't have heard of it, and I haven't heard even a wink about any gatherings. Right. I know your capabilities in gathering intelligence very well, but I might learn something about the Blue Robin. Your enthusiasm is admirable and all, but Be very careful. Don't forget that it could be someone's trap. At Goneril's shop, while I waited for John, I told Goneril about Alfred's disappearance and my exchange with the boy, Leonardo. And the next new moon. And that's in roughly half a month. I'll look into if there are any witnesses and whether the gathering is real. Thanks, that'd really help. The door creaked open then, and John walked in. Goneril waved to him. Welcome back, John boy. Glad to see you back, John. Yeah. Exhausted, John barely made it to a chair before he sank down, his limbs dangling. I wanted to cut right to it, but my voice died in my throat, seeing how pitiful he looked. I'll make some tea. Thanks. That'll be great. Let's just say I heard all kinds of sickening stories there. Taking a sip of tea I'd made, John exhaled slowly to settle his emotions before he began explaining Lucas's past. On the side of House Sullivan, most of it matches the rumors we heard from Goneril. Lucas was the child of the head's mistress, while the lawful wife had 2 sons. Because Lucas was the prospective heir, his stepmother and half-brothers abused him. John added that in the eyes of the people around him, Lucas had seemed a world-weary old soul even as a child. I mean, that could all be just because he was, or also just the excessive abuse that his father was probably just ignoring, because rich man. The situation deteriorated when the family visited Rowan with all 3 sons to formally introduce the children to the Queen. My, how adorable! So the little ones are your pride and joy, Sullivan.
Yes, Your Majesty. I don't mean to presume, but I have full confidence they'll shoulder the duty of the Sullivans and wholeheartedly support your reign.
I'm so happy! Please help me going forward, cute little ones. Yes, Your Majesty! He looks like all the children have powers, but that one should be your heir.
Huh? Pardon me, but why?
That little one is the strongest, after all. Ooh, so maybe? Okay, I'm sorry, but wait. If Lucas was like, hell yeah, bested my brothers, he would, be proud that the Queen picked him. But he's being abused and bullied and all of that shit, and he's like, God, I hate everything. And then the Queen's like, that one should be your heir, and made his life 10 times fucking worse. He was already getting bullied by his stepmother and his brothers. Okay? And then the Queen basically just singled him out. So I feel like this would be like when we're like, I'm gonna kill the Queen, he's like, you know what, good, because fuck that bitch. She is the reason why I'm suffering the way I am. You know what I mean? He was probably already suffering a little, like, I don't want to be here, and I'm a little, but then, the abuse, 10 times worse. The Queen lifted her hand. Her outstretched finger pointed right at Lucas. Since then, the harassment Lucas had to endure at home grew even more vicious. Exactly. Neither the father nor the servants tried to help. He lost all faith in people. Not soon after, there was a great fire on the estate premises, and the forest burned down. And we know he's got fire. And one of you guys pointed that out too in a comment from back in the, I think probably in the comment route or whatever, but again, I didn't see it until recently, but Lucas, everything in the town burned, and Lucas has the blue flames and everything like that. And I mean, I think we speculated that too when she said that blue fire, I've seen it before. And I'm like, maybe when your town was burning down. So it's like, yes, I think we already suspected he was involved, but he is probably the one that started the fire because he got the fire powers, and she'll be like, the fire, oh my God, yeah, the will-o'-the-wisp power, that's what I saw burning my house down. Because, that little detail, the flames out the window or whatever, you were running underneath the house and whatever, so. And then Alfred put the dome around, or the wall around it, so, yeah, there you go.
Did you hear about that House Sullivan, son? Yeah, Lord Lucas, right? I heard he's always been unusual. Sounds like he's finally gone and done it. Setting fire to a forest.
This should clue her in.
Even our Lord Sullivan can't manage that child anymore. He sent the little lord off to a boarding school. He's probably breathing a sigh of relief to be rid of such a burden.
populace of the Sullivan domain gossiped left and right, but the truth was far different.
The ones who set the fire to the forest were Lucas's siblings, not him. Lucas was fond of the forest, and that was reason enough.
How awful. The bullying escalated out of hand. His brothers were clearly in the wrong.
That incident spurred the head into action. They couldn't handle any more scandal, so we sent Lucas off to a boarding school.
The previous head only cared about keeping up appearances, I see. Yeah, that's why he didn't do anything about anybody beating the crap out of his poor kid. Mother and father were true-born nobles, but they chose me over their reputation. It's nothing short of a miracle. Oh, okay, she's thinking about her parents. I was like, wait a minute, what? Yes, mother and father were true-born nobles, but they chose me over their reputation. That's nothing short of a miracle. Because, like, we're realizing that our parents loved us and Lucas had no one to love him.
Probably, yeah. That's standard for nobles, though. After that, Lucas left the Sullivan estate, spending his youth at school instead.
John explained that he infiltrated the school as a janitor to scout out information about Lucas. All of the staff vividly remembered Lucas. Sure enough, he'd always been a maverick.
Shortly after enrolling, Lucas declared his dislike of people, and then he wanted to become a pure fae. His classmates shunned him.
So his personality was already established by then. No matter how much others alienated him, however, Lucas paid them no mind. He'd been liberated from his brothers, and he savored that freedom to the fullest.
This is where I'm getting to our topic of interest. There was one brave soul that went to talk to the unsociable teen unreservedly.
John paused, and the answer hit me right away. I filled in the blanks. You weren't able to learn about that brave soul from anyone, were you? For he belonged to a family that's now a taboo topic. John nodded solemnly. Meanwhile, Goneril, who'd been smoking her pipe as a quiet listener so far, shook off some ash and spoke. I get it. The brave soul is none other than...
Right, Riley. Riley Randolph. Sounds like the two of them are close friends.
That was when John took a book from his coat pocket and presented it to me. I know this blue cover.
Lady, you brought up the book a while ago, didn't you? When I infiltrated the campus, I looked into it just in case. I found it in the school library. It's the same as the one you mentioned, yeah?
And so I stole it? Dude! John! Whatevs. Yes, this mystery novel. Riley used to read it. I found the same one in the Sullivan Estate Library. The nursery rhyme that served as the novel's motif was written on the very first page. As I flipped through the book, I picked out select parts of the long rhyme and read it silently. Who killed Cock Robin? I said the sparrow, with my bow and arrow. I killed Cock Robin. Who'll toll the bell? I said the bull, because I can pull, I'll toll the bell. All the birds of the air fell a sighing and a sobbing when they heard the bell toll for poor Cock Robin. When I read it now, it's kind of creepy. I soon reached the back cover of the book. My brother's name was on it. I gently traced it with my fingertips. His signature is here. Then, does that mean this is the exact book my brother read?
Should be. The timing lines up. It was while Riley attended school that the Queen set her sights on you, milady. House Randolph had to escape Rowan to go into hiding. Naturally, Riley had to drop out of school. As a matter of course, he wouldn't have had any time to do the proper procedures or farewells. He probably fled overnight, bringing the bare minimum with him.
And at that time, he left this book behind in the library. I flipped through again, but stopped abruptly. 2 sheets of paper were wedged between pages. Rows and rows of numbers. What are these?
That's just a guess, but I think this was a special code that Riley and Lucas used. Look here, they're small initials. LS and RR.
LS, RR. Lucas Sullivan and Riley Randolph.
See, it's pretty much the same as how we send messages with our pocket watches.
He really was good friends with my brother.
Yeah. Lucas spent nearly all his life abused and oppressed. Life at the boarding school may have been the only fun he ever experienced.
I took out the photo of my brother and Lucas, and this is why it makes it harder that he was forced to burn the town and he killed the only person that was ever nice to him, that he probably only ever cared for, really. In Lucas's life, though it had been brief, He had a heartwarming period where he enjoyed someone's company. That brought me relief.
More importantly, milady, could you take a good look at the other piece of paper?
John lightly tapped the desk with his finger to usher me along, like the content was something I had to see as soon as possible.
This is the most important intel I found. I don't know what you'll think, but...
With his encouragement, I unfolded the other piece of paper stuck in the book. What? This is... The moment I laid my eyes upon it, I gasped. For a long time I was frozen in place. I could only stare at the writing. Ooh, we're not gonna know what it is! Because this is the end of the part. I was like, this would be a really great place to stop and make us all wonder about the mystery. And that's exactly what the game did. So, ooh. Oh, we're accompanying Lily to a tea party. That's even more sus. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.